Good morning, welcome to another video. As you can probably see, I'm still at the seaside. I'm at Falmouth, although I should say I'm actually at Penryn. Now, I got up this morning apparently to get soaking wet, because every time I walk out the front door at the moment it starts raining, which is I think a reflection on the weather rather than me. But I've come out this morning, as you can see, once again, the second I come out we get a shower, but hopefully it'll blow over. But I've come out this morning to hopefully do a bit of mullet fishing. I'm just at a point where the river meets the estuary, and as per previous video, a chap called James from Reefers Tackles put me onto this spot as being good for mullet. I'm sure there's other species around as well. So what I've done is bought basically my trotting gear, my freshwater trotting gear. So we'll have a go with that. I've got some bread I'm going to mash up, and I've also got some ragworm with me, which will stick under the pike bung, and see if we can catch something else. Maybe some, who knows, some bass, some wrasse again, perhaps. Who knows? But for now, I'm going to go and set my gear up, but I'm going to find a bit of shelter somewhere to do it, because it's going to cane it down for a few minutes by the looks of it, and then we'll get cracking. So we'll get a bit of this mashing. I've seen the odd bow wave around, so there does seem to be some fish around. So we'll chuck this mash in, see if we can get them feeding. It's just like trotting on the river. Well, it is a river. See if we can do anything. Unfortunately, we've got a downstream wind, which is a real pain. We'll keep that going in. I've got a couple of loads with me, so we've got plenty. I'll stick all the info on all the gear I'm using down in the description as well, so you can see what I'm doing, exactly what I'm using. But suffice to say, I've got a basic waggler trotting setup there. And I've got, I suppose, what you would class as a pike setup on this rod. Big pike bung, some drilled bullets to cock it. But rather than obviously snap tackle, I've got some just a mono hook link with a size 2 crank hook on it. I'm going to stick a ragworm on here. I'm going to drop it in the edge and see what happens, if anything. Right, actually before I drop that in, let's set up the landing net. Because last couple of times I've been fishing down here, and bites very quickly. Should say we're about, it's about 8ish now, just gone. I've not been down here before, so it was a bit of a fiddle finding somewhere to park, and although I am stood in a car park, I stupidly came out without any money, so I couldn't pay for the car park. So I had to find somewhere to park up the road and walk down. And we're about an hour off high tide, something like that. Right, as I say, we'll drop this one in. Stand the edge, see what we can winkle anything out of there. I say it is running through a bit in here, so you might have to fish that on a tight line to the rod top, that's what I was going to say, but it's not actually running through bizarrely, so we're on the bottom. Not sure. It's a bit strange, the float's cocked, but it's not trying to run through. There it is now. Yeah, we'll fish that on a tight line, just to the rod top, leave it down there, and see if anything happens. Right the clutch off, in case anything ferocious happens. We'll keep this bread going in. I've got a bit of a trot down here, which is nice. Home from home. So you can see a couple of bow waves up there. Perhaps we need to move. We'll see what happens. Well, as with that one, it's not really wanting to run through, which is a bit strange. That's with dragging bottom. That's just relatively shallow here. I'm only set about 6 foot though. So strange that the float's going through much slower than the pace of the water. I can only think the tide's coming in underneath and the river's flowing out on the top. The float's really holding back hard of its own volition, which is, yeah, a bit weird really. Alright, so it's just jumped out right on the line that I'm fishing. I'd like to have the camera pointing that way so you can see what's going on. And unfortunately the sun's right up there and you'll see nothing if I do. Well, there's some fish here, at least we know that. That one's just leapt out. Alright. Get a bite then. That was most definitely a bite. Oh, he missed it. Oh my God, I missed it. Well, that's promising. Definitely a bite. I think perhaps I might need a bigger hook on here. I only got a size, looks like about 12 on. But I wanted to fish fairly delicately. Perhaps it's just a bit too delicate. Looks a bit too small maybe. We've had a bite. Alright. There's another dip as well. That's another dip. Well, I'm certainly sufficiently interested in this bread. And another one. I do look like bites off smaller fish though. That's these ones I'm getting here, certainly. Well, we're just about high tide. So I think probably we're a bit late on this today. It's a bit frustrating. Did seem to be some fish about for when we got here, and by the time I got sorted and got my eye in, they seem to have gone. We could always come and have a go in the morning, but I had got something else planned for tomorrow, so we'll have to suck it and see a little bit. That's what we fancy doing, but yeah, that's not quite gone to plan today. I think what I'm going to do, I'll have a little bit of a move around the corner here. It's a bit more sheltered around there. We're at the mouth of a river here, but a bit further around the corner there, it's a bit more sheltered. We might have more of a chance of perhaps catching a wrasse, or perhaps a mullet might be hanging around by these pontoons. They love that sort of cover, don't they? Mullet. I think perhaps the ones that were hanging around in here have cleared off. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. Right, I think I'm going to knock on the head. There's nothing out in here at all. I think I'd be better served. I'm going to go back, I think, and have a go where we did a bit of wrasse fishing yesterday. Or where we, and of course of wrasse, I wasn't particularly fishing for them. But I think we'd better serve going back there, to be honest. There's nothing happening here at all. I think that's probably the thing to do. So, we're back wrassing again. Here. So what we've got left of the highish tide. about an hour or so after high tide now, so it's not ideal, but I'm sure there'll still be some wrasse about, hopefully anyway. Fancy a bit of ragworm. Right, let's have a go. So I've got the landing net this time. It's got 3 metre handle, I'm sure we'll be able to reach down with it. I think I'm probably set a bit deep at the moment. We'll find out when we cast in. Right, I'm not going to bother with a mullet rod today, with the bread, unless I see any. Right, let's see what that is. Well, it's cocked, so we're not over dapped. Right, fingers crossed. A lot of clarity in the water. I can see the bottom down here, it must be at least 8 or 10 foot deep. But hopefully we can get in touch with some of these nice wrasse again. We had 3 in a couple of hours, sort of this time yesterday, or on this sort of tide yesterday. It's a lot less windy today. Hopefully we can drop on a wrasse or 2. Keep our eyes peeled for mullet. If we do see any, we'll get the float rod out. Well, I don't know if you can see that. That's a cracking rainbow over there. Full one. Alright, I think we've got a bit of interest. Certainly looks like it. It's bobbing away. Definitely got some kind of interest. Yeah. Something playing with it anyway. It's a good sign. As I say, unless it was a crab, of course. Right. I think we're in. We are in. So little change of location. Ah, done me. Well, I just shallowed up and stuck it in down the edge here. And we've had a nibble straight away. So I'll have another go, I think. Maybe smaller ones down here. At least we've had a bite. Alright, floats off again already, look. Only got half a worm on. Whatever it is keeps dragging me into this tiny little wrasse. Well, we caught one. Not quite the size of the ones we were catching yesterday, but we've had one. Beautiful fish and very spiky. Well, there's clearly some down there, as you'd expect, really. Bit of cover down the edge. You never know, perhaps we can get connected to some bigger ones. Alright, here we go again. Well, it's a bit of action. They're tiddlers, but it's a bit of action. Even smaller one. But we got one. Oh, beautiful colours. I do know wrasse-like cover. There's some rocks in the water down here, which is obviously where these little ones live. Alright, this feels a bit better. Blimey, this one's pulling. Really trying to get back in there. He's a bit better. A bit bigger. It's a nice one. Nicer one anyway. Slightly bigger. Sort of live in hope that the next one will be a big one. Like yesterday. Well guys, I am going to call it a day at that. There's not really a lot going on here. Good evening, welcome to another video. Apologies for all the bangs and crashes in the background, but we're not far off bonfire night, so lots of fireworks going off. I've come out this evening to a harbour not too far from Falmouth that James from Reefers Angling put me onto. So I've come out to fish a couple of hours up to high tide. High tide's about 10:15 tonight. So I've come out, it's about 8 o'clock now, something like that. We're going to have a go here again. We got mullered by crabs. If you saw a recent video when I fished here, or probably the last video when I fished here, we got absolutely mullered by crabs. So what I'm going to do tonight is just try popping the baits up a bit. I've got some rig foam. I've not brought all my gear down with me, but I've got enough just to cobble together some rigs where I can pop the baits up off the bottom. Hopefully that'll foil the crabs, because we couldn't keep bait in the water for more than about 10 minutes last time. But we did drop that bass off, unfortunately. So hoping for some fish this evening. We'll probably fish perhaps 2 or 3 hours, something like that. We'll fish high tide and then a little bit beyond maybe. We'll just see how it's going. Because I do want to get up tomorrow as well. Last day of the holiday tomorrow. So I do want to get up tomorrow as well and have a little bit of go in the morning at high tide. Anyway, that's enough waffle, isn't it? Gear-wise, I'm going to use the gear I've been using. I'll stick all the info down below, but I'll be fishing sort of a light ledger rod, which is one of my £2 Tesco Advanta rods. And I've got a proper sort of beach caster 4 to 6 ounce rod to use for sort of heavier duty fishing, if you like. As I say, I'll have one light ledger rig, one heavy ledger rig. We'll fish perhaps a bit of ragworm, a bit of squid on the one, and perhaps a bit of mackerel or a big piece of squid on the other. Right, that's definitely enough waffle. Let's crack on. Right, that's the first rod out. I'm going to use the car as a bit of a rod rest again, like I did the other night. You can see what's going on. Yeah, I've got a piece of mackerel on there at the moment because my squid's all congealed in one big lump. So that'll defrost, I'm sure. And we'll perhaps have a go with some squid. A lot less windy than last time we came, which is a bonus. But that's my first rod. I'd say that's my heavy rod. As you can see, it's I've got a Sonic 8000 size beach caster reel there, free fixable reel, and a Sonic SKS Black. So fingers crossed. Right, we'll get the other one out. I've had a few people recommend this mark to me, and to be honest, that's why I'm not giving away where it is, really, because it's not my mark to be giving away. I don't think it's fair for me to be giving away other people's marks. Right, that's a heavy one out, so I'll go with a light one. Right, put a bit of squid on this one and a bit of worm. Hedge our bets a bit. Owls are hooting. God, it's a monster. Right. Massive worm. Right, let's see if this is going to float. Certainly is. Right. Blast him out over this way. Now this tip is fine enough. We'll be able to see if the crabs are battering away at it. Got a boat over there. Hopefully he's not coming this way. You can probably see the fireworks over there in the distance. Right. Now we had a very quick take last time we were here. As I say, it was a bass and it dropped off, unfortunately. I'm hoping this time we can land something. So these baits have been out for sort of 15-20 minutes. I've not had any telltale plucking, so let's see if we've managed to foil the crabs. We have. The bait is still there. That's cracking. Right. We have foiled the crabs. However, I think we need to shorten this hook link a little bit. I'm about, God, I don't know, 75 centimetres off the bottom there. We'll bring it down to 50. We'll keep inching it down until we start to get a bit of bit of crab trouble, I think. And we can just make it a little bit longer again. Well, unfortunately, that was it for that session. Nothing occurred at all. Didn't have a single bite. I fished till perhaps half an hour or so after high tide. By that time, to be honest, I'd had enough of staring at motionless rod tops and the rain had started, so I decided to go home. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video that I was going to have a go the following morning. Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen. So that session you've just seen turned out to be the last one for this trip down to Falmouth and down to do the sea fishing. But we'll be back again, possibly in the spring, possibly in the summer. But I thought you'd like to see exactly what I was up to down in Falmouth. Although this particular video, there weren't too many fish, but I did give it my best shot. But I'm back on home ground now and looking forward to doing some more fishing on the Avon and its tributaries and perhaps getting down to the Wye before too long. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you all again very soon.